The day her 4-year-old grandson was killed, U San Yee had taken him to their local market in rural Myanmar for sticky rice and his favorite fried banana snacks before coming home to play with his toy cars. "We didn't know that the Myanmar military would fire artillery shells," U San Yee said. "That's why we were just going about and living our normal lives." When the first explosion struck Kin Seik, a farming village of about 3,000 people, the two were watching Tom and Jerry cartoons. "We tried to run to another place, but on the way a shell fell on my grandson and his mother while they were holding hands," said U San Yee, who could only watch as 3 civilians were killed and 8 others injured in the August 28 attack on the community of bamboo houses on the fertile plains of the country's western Rakhine state. It was one of a series of deadly assaults that marked the collapse of an 18-month ceasefire between the military and the Arakan Army, one of the country's most powerful ethnic insurgent groups. Nearly 22 months after the country's military overthrew a democratically elected civilian government led by Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi, it is now fighting a war on multiple fronts. More than 7,000 civilians have been killed since the coup, according to the Institute for Strategy and Policy, a Yangon-based think tank. Victims include protesters shot in the head, dissidents killed in detention and villagers bound and burned alive. But as the renewed fighting in Rakhine reflects, the military, which has ruled Myanmar with an iron grip for much of the last half-century, remains unable to reconsolidate power. In one of the latest examples of violence, military jets bombed a concert in northern Kachin state on October 23, killing at least 80 people, including civilians and members of the ethnic Kachin Independence Army. Meanwhile, dozens of junta soldiers have reportedly been killed since late October in Rakhine, northwestern Kachin state and the central city of Mandalay. The junta has increasingly resorted to air power because of growing losses to infantry on the ground from ambushes and roadside bombs. "The military is getting desperate," said Kyaw Zaw, a spokesman for the National Unity Government, a parallel government filled with deposed civilian lawmakers' work. "Their only strategy is to terrorize the population by targeting defenseless civilians." The junta is now confronting newly formed rebel groups such as the Disparate People's Defense Force aligned with the parallel government, and an increasing number of ethnic armed groups based in the country's border regions.